Good morning, dear friends. My name is Yuri Besarab, and I share my experience of autodidactics. That was developed as a science, as a philosophical movement, was developed by Valery Kurinsky. Today, I would like to describe you several or at least two very interesting techniques and very important tools for autodidacts, for those people who learn. The first one is about how to fall asleep and how to wake up in a way which is not violent and which is very good for our body, let's say, and not only for the body. So there is the rule is Kurinsky took from electrical, let's say, electrical science, or the science on how the engines work, electrical engines work. He took a technique which he applied to the body, to the human body. And it sounds like this, that we switch off all the engines of our body immediately, but we switch them on gradually. So he took it from the practical application of different engines, different motors, and for example, for you to understand more clearly, so these are different engines, they are connected together. So in electrical, in practice, they switch them on gradually, one by one after the other, but they switch them off all together. And in that case, all this equipment will work properly. So we apply this in autodidactics for when we want to wake up and when we want to fall asleep. And how to do it? So I will, as to switching off, I will tell you a little bit later, but I will start with switching on, or when we wake up. So we need the first rule, or let's say in general, as it is accepted in scientifically and proven scientifically, the average amount of hours which is necessary for us to sleep. For men, it's usually 6-7 hours. For ladies, it's about 7-8 hours, and for kids it's 8-9 hours. Fools could sleep, of course, longer. So I will take just an average autodidact, and I will take a male, in this case, a man. So if he decided to sleep just 6 hours a day, so we assume that he goes to bed at 11 o'clock, so he needs to get up at 5 o'clock, because that will be 6 hours of sleep. So we need to wake up 15 minutes before we get up. What does it mean? Our body is very wise, and we need to tune it, that we wake up 15 minutes before we get up. And what do we do then? Okay, we need, first of all, the first emotion we should have is that we are alive, so that is already very positive, and then we can start a normal day. So the next thing we do, we start working with our imagination. We imagine our favorite landscape, whatever it is, it's the sea, whatever. We imagine that our favorite landscape. For 15 minutes. We try to do it for 15 minutes. I understand that sometimes it's not that easy, but we try to do it. There could be some birds singing there, there could be some wind. We try to look at the details of this landscape, and we do it for 15 minutes. This is exactly the time when we start putting on different engines in this chain, engines that work in our body. Next thing we do after 15 minutes, we start to apply a psychological posture, which is called a mush-roomer or a mushroom seeker. And what do we do? We are trying to find the opportunities for us to do what we really love. In this case, there are some things which are obligatory for us. For example, we study 3 foreign languages, we study philosophy and music. So in general, it will be 5 different subjects. So when we get up at 5 o'clock, after these 15 minutes of waking up or imagining our internal landscape, we get up and we just touch these 5 subjects for each for a minute or 3. We need to feel when this engine, which is responsible in our body for the work on that subject, when it starts working, right? But usually it's 1 minute, it could be 3, approximately 1-3 minutes. And after these, let's say after we touched all these 5 subjects, we should feel us very happy, because this is the time when like complete freedom comes. We're completely free after this. We are not obliged to do anything else after this. Of course, we will do and we'll try to do a lot, but now there is like no pressure of being obliged to do anything. And at this time, we can start like waking up our kids, we can start making breakfast, toilet, shower, morning exercise, whatever you want. We can after this we could go to work, and etc., etc. So, and in the end of the day, I skip many things that we are doing during the day, and then in the end of the day, before that 11 o'clock at night, by that time we need to be already physically or vitally tired. By that time, if we really work hard on those things that we love to do. And here's the next technique, and it is called mantra way or mantra technique of falling asleep. Quite a long name, but you will understand right away. So we can, if we study foreign languages, we can take a word which starts with some sound, and we are trying to prolong that sound. And for example, I will take English. It will be easier for you to understand how to apply it to other languages. And for example, we take letter S, right? And we say snow. We prolong the sound until we get a word, and then we imagine what we pronounce. In this case, we imagine snow, right? It's very important to have snow in this winter. So snow came to my mind. I imagine it, and then I go to the next. We go to the next word, and we again prolong this sound. Snail. We imagine snail, which is just on a leaf of grass, for example. And then we move on. Sun. Sun came. We imagine the sun. And usually we can play with any sound like this. And usually after 3 words or 3 these pictures that we imagine, we usually fall asleep. Sometimes it's after the first one. And this technique will allow us to sleep less, 1 hour, sometimes 2 hours. Just using these 2 techniques, how to wake up properly and slowly, gradually to put on all the agents of our, let's say, body and soul, and then falling asleep using this mantra technique of falling asleep, we will sleep enough, properly, and rested. Next, you can ask me how many subjects we should, or how many agents we should put on, or how many subjects we should study. This is a very difficult question, but let's start with 5. Later on, you may feel that you need more. You can also start learning art, maybe some other foreign languages, etc. You will see what music, you will see what you like more. But it's important that if you feel that you should start learning some subject, it's important that you do it. Otherwise, you will produce some kind of poison in yourself. That's what happens to us, and poison is not good. Next, now we go to the next point, which is also a very interesting technique, and we will speak about worldview. In the books of Kurinsky, you will probably see this picture, using which, or this chart, with the help of which he explains the nature of our intellect, or how the worldview can be built. I love the German word Weltanschauung, because it's like, if to translate it to English, it's like looking on the world from above. Weltanschauung. So I will try to use a little bit different thing to explain how things work with our intellect. For example, if we imagine our intellect or our imagination, we can say our intellect of two, like a microchip, of two parts. This part is like more physical, and also it can be used by us in everyday practice. It's the knowledge, it's everything there in the society we are using. So, and the other part, which is black one, this is a part which stays in our soul, which stays in our mind. It's like a reflection of this, yeah, but it will be a reflection only if we learn something beautiful, and because of that we have feeling related to that knowledge that we acquire. For example, we learn some music of, we listen to the symphony of Mozart. You can take Symphony 29, or 31, or 41, let's say 29, right? So, you listen to that symphony, and you are impressed, you felt it. So, immediately, if you feel its beauty, immediately we have that comes from externally, from external world, that it becomes a part of our soul, a part of our psyche, or a part of our body. We remember this symphony. Then we take not symphony, we take something else. For example, we saw the picture of Malevich, Ukrainian artist Malevich, suprematism, abstraction, and we feel really how it works and how beautiful it is. So we have it here because it's in the gallery, it's like an external world, but then we have this is in our imagination, or our soul. This is how we build on this worldview. And it also, the more we build to the more events of these happy events, or events related to what we learn, what we see, what we live through, experience through, this line of there will be more and more of them, and our, let's say, we become as individuals deeper and deeper, and also we will be able to watch on these things from above, and every time it will be higher and higher. In case we learn something just to show off, or we prepare for exams and we needed to pass the exams, of course we need to prepare and pass them quickly. Or we need to just we wanted to acquire some quick knowledge, just to impress someone, or to make lots of money quickly. So what happens? We will have this thing. To put it on the scheme, there will be no those experience inside, and I will show how it usually happens. There will be no something inside of us, nothing in the soul. And also during the sleep, this knowledge that we acquire just to show off, because it's not beautiful, but we need to use it. What happens when we sleep? This microchip in our imagination, it turns like this. And we will have, our mind will have less and less of, let's say, opportunity to use this knowledge. And up to this one, there will be nothing at all. This is nothing at all. It's already when we have certain diseases, when we cannot use that knowledge we used, and it's Parkinson usually, or some others. So our mind will really suffer, and there will be a lot of pressure on ourselves if we have only the knowledge which we not go through. Now it's I tune my computer not to receive anything in Russian, and so usual advertisement comes when I watch something on YouTube in French. And so they started to popularize one guy whose name is Jim Quick, and he speaks about such a his message is quick learn, quick earn. So I explained to you what happens if you really learn quick. You may earn, but not in terms of something that is important for your body, for us, for our soul. It will never make quick knowledge will not, or like quick love will never make us richer in all the senses. So I hope I shared very important instruments with you, and those techniques how to get up or wake up, and how to fall asleep with mantra technique, and also this knowledge about worldview. Subscribe, put likes, share this this video with others, with your friends, and to further meetings. Bye bye.